John Twist of University Motors. Today we're going to be working on some seats. Now I'm not an interior guy, absolutely. You can tell I'm an engine guy. I've been underneath the car all day. My daughter's 1973 MGB GT. I've been underneath it trying to get the cross member onto the overdrive gearbox, which took me on the floor on jack stands 3 hours? 2 hours, sure, solid 2 hours. Oh my gosh, I'd like to get my hands on the guys that designed that cross member. I mean, why didn't they make it in 3 pieces? Bolt this piece, bolt that piece, bolt the bottom piece, it's all done. Instead, you've got to have fingers. I had to get my daughter, who's got fingers the size of pencils, to get up in there and tighten the bolts up. These great big fat fingers just wouldn't do it. Today, we're going to be doing seats over here. Now, I'm not an interior guy, so I didn't do the seats. I sent the seats out and had them covered. My daughter, in fact, tried to do the seats to start off with and followed all the instructions, but geez, it's a whole lot handier if you take it to somebody who's already done, 1,500 sets of seats from all different kinds of cars, and they take this is a Moss kit, beautiful kit. And they just take it and zip, 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 and it's all done, and it's easy, and you pay them, you write them a check, and you don't end up putting the screwdriver through the nice fabric that you just paid for. So anyway, what we're going to do here only is just combine the top and bottom. Make sure that you get the correct side. This is the hook here from the seat rake or the latch. Make sure you get this hook onto this side, because you can't get them on to the wrong side, and then you discover that you've got them on the wrong side and have to take them back apart again. How do I know that? Well, guess. So anyway, there is a washer that goes between the seat. So these are the 4 pieces that we're going to use here. 2 washers, a bolt, 3/4 inch, 5/16, 24, and a nylock. We always have our grease, always grease for everything. And we're going to put a little grease here on the flange here. And we're going to put some grease on the inside. I know there's white grease. You can buy white grease, clear grease. But when this is all done, we'll see if we can wipe some of that off. So we're going to put this bolt through here, and it's not threaded, it's just thick with the paint. And we're going to bring this guy down onto here and start him. This is the easy side. Oh, come on, baby. Let's go. Shoot. Well, maybe I should have chased those threads before. There's no substitute to making sure the threads are here. There we go. Okay, so we're going to not tighten him all the way up, but get him part way here. And then on the back side, we've got this jam nut, lock nut. Put him back here. This is the easy side. Probably should have done this second. Should have done the other side first. And we're going to tighten up the bolt until it just about jams up the seat. Well, easy for me to say here. Maybe I don't have enough thread through here. There it is. And use our ratchet and just tighten him up. This is, look at this ratchet. Is this cool or what? You can turn it up here. Who makes this? I don't know. I don't think it's from Harbor Freight. Looks nicer than that, but anyway, this is pretty nice ratchet. So we're going to bring him up, tighten him up. He's all the way tight there, and I think we'll probably back him off maybe, what, half a turn, and then we'll tighten up our lock nut on the back side. As best we can. Because we don't want this bolt to come out while we're driving, even when we're sitting. So anyway, that's good. He doesn't wiggle too much. Now we'll go around to the other side. This side's going to be more difficult because sometimes the stuff is in the way, and again, we want to put some grease in here on these flanges. Probably should have greased up the inside of this first. We got some grease on the fabric, but that's okay because we're going to clean it off afterwards. And we're going to see if we can get this into place. I've got a screwdriver here to help us adjust the flange so that we can get it over the washer. Get it into place here. I've got a Phillips screwdriver. Speaking of Phillips screwdrivers, Mr. Phillips lived somewhere around Stockton, California, and Phillips screws date from around 1952, I think, because TDs didn't have Phillips screws on them, but MGAs do. And anyway, about Stockton, California, Norman Knock of British Car Specialists in Stockton had as a customer Mr. Phillips. And Mr. Phillips identified himself one day, came in, and Norman then interviewed him. And David Knock, I know I can find this. I know I can find this somehow here. David Knock has the interview that his dad had with Mr. Phillips. I don't know if he's got that available as a PDF or what, but if you contact, maybe I should shut up and just work on the seat and not talk about Mr. Phillips, but if you contact British Car Specialists, I know David would be pleased to pass along this interview that his dad did so long ago. I just got to find the back end of this hole here. That's not where I'm going. So you'll probably have just about as much fun at home doing this as I'm having here, if you call this fun. But what else is there to do in life but work on MGs? So this has to be fun. There we go. And of course you want to make sure your bolt's all set to go, which mine isn't, and put some grease on him. Would have been nice to have that all set. This is a little longer video than not. It's a frustration video in that I'm having a real hard time doing this, but we will achieve success. But if we don't, of course, I'm not going to air the video. So assuming that you're watching it means that we got someplace with this. I've got an old bed sheet here. My late wife would murder me if she saw me using her old sheets like this, but they have been around for a long time. Okay, so now the problem is getting that nut on the back side. Let me get this stuff. It's a lot easier when you're sitting in the seat. Let me say just one more thing about the seat rake. when you're redoing your seat, you want to make sure that you spend the time to make sure that the seat rake works really, really easily. See, this guy works just, okay? So that we can set the seat rake back. I don't know if we can do this. Anyway, these rust up. It's just some sliding gears in the back here. It's kind of a crude setup. But when you have the fabric off, oh my gosh, absolutely, positively, grease it and work with it so that you know that it's absolutely free. I had a customer so many years ago from Flint, Michigan. He was acting as the general contractor on his own car. Most people do in some way, but he'd subbed out a whole lot of work, and he'd spent, I don't know, a fortune on this leather seat kit. Oh my gosh. And he had the seats installed in his car, and the seat rakes were frozen. And he said, how can I get these loose? And I said, dude, you know, you're supposed to get it all loose beforehand. You know, supposed to have it all nice. I said, but whatever you do, don't push on that too hard, because this handle will break. That will break under severe, I mean, you take a body like mine and try to lift it by pushing on that seat rake, that handle can and has broken. And when it does, it cuts into your thumb right here, and there's all kinds of tendons and stuff in there. So I warned him. I said, good grief, make sure you take the seat apart. Don't just force it. So the next time I see him, of course, he's in a great big friggin' bandage. Looks like Napoleon with his hand up against here. And I said, what happened? He goes, oh, I know you told me not to push on that really hard, but well, I did. It's like, and then he says, I'm not sure I'm ever going to have full use of my thumb again. So, you know, make sure that you get that sorted out before, help me out, before you put the seat cover on. And the guy putting the seat cover on, he's not going to worry about it. It's not his job. So that, now that's all the way tight. I'm going to back him off half a turn and tighten up my, easy for me to say, tighten up this nut back in here, the nylock. We're using some used nylocks and went to Napa at the last minute and said, oh my gosh, do you have 5/16 24 nylocks? So they had 5/16 18 nylocks. They didn't have 5/16 24s. So I made these old nylocks work. There we go. Moves easily. Should eventually catch back here. There we go. So we got these seats done. Now all we have to do is switch the seat slides from one to the other, because we got them on the wrong sides, which is why we put the wrong seat back on the wrong base to start off with, which is what I said in the beginning. But we were successful, so you will see this video. Oh, the nylocks. You know, nylock has got a little tiny inside rim of nylon, hence nylock. And as you run the thread up through the nylon, it distorts the nylon, and the nylon grips the thread. But after you've used it once or twice, it develops a pattern. So all you need to do is take this, put it on your vise, take a big hammer, bam, hit it, and it'll crush that nylon in just a little bit and make it just as good as new. So that's my story for today, and I'm sticking with it. So please visit our website, University Motors Ltd. Go to that top ribbon, put your name down, join our newsletter, and you'll get an invitation from me on constant contact about our next Zoom session. And right next to that is a PayPal button. And if you feel so inclined, press that and make some contribution to help me afford my retirement. So until later, till the next video, thank you very much. Thanks, Max, for taking the picture, and thank you, Barbara, for letting me work on your car. Safety fast.